It's been well and truly over a week now since I've recorded anything, simply because I haven't been working on the truck that much. So I should go back through and just see what I was up to on the video. But yeah, the PTO takeoff started rubbing the main drive shaft back. I might penetrol this and paint over it. The rust pitting is quite deep. It's a tail shaft, so won't make it perfect. Yeah, I'll go back in the shed, and as you can see, I've been messing around with the RC planes more than the truck. But behind that plane in the box there, the winch sitting on the ground still, so that'll be bored out. I'm thinking get the tail shaft in, or painted, put back in, and drive the truck out of the shed and rub the middle section back where the winch goes. Yeah, try and get as much of the rubbing done outside rather than in the shed because of the mess it makes, where I can anyway. Yeah, this shaft is fairly badly pitted, so yeah, the penetrol I think is the way to go. Put a protective coat over it and then paint it. As I said before, just a diff, so we won't get too caught up on it. Okay, it's got a coating of penetrol on it, so I'll have to let that dry for 24 hours. Unfortunately, I also nicked the rubber boot seal on the uni joint, so once this is dried, I'll clean it off properly with some degreaser, and we'll have a look and see how bad it is. I've got to try and source one. I'll have to try and source one. So, but that will mean pulling the uni joint apart, which I don't really want to do, but yeah, if I have to, I will. I've just taken out the support, the rear support for the winch. Well, nearly done anyway. This bolt's going to probably have to have some heat on it. The other one's off, but yeah, that one won't move. I'm going to rub back most of the frame out here, so I don't make as much mess inside the shed. So also I had to attach the winch, what do you call it, the selector back on, because the air leaking out of that was too much and the brakes didn't work, and I've smashed the mirror against the shed because I couldn't stop. So really kicking myself over that, because I've got a spare one, but still it was stupid. So yeah, so I'll clean this off, clean the tank off, the tank support, do that all out here. There's my new fuel tank, temporary fuel tank, so it come off a motorbike. Yeah, so yeah, it's coming along. Something else, even though I penetroled the rear drive shaft, I've got surface rust coming through, so gonna have to do that again. That's the first time that penetrol stuff has actually let me down. So whether or not I didn't put it on thick enough, or I don't know, but it's weird how it's good in places and then this has come through here, so I'm not too sure what went wrong there, but it's not a biggie, but just a bit annoying. I've just removed the fuel tank holders on the left hand side, and I'm going to have to cut the metal strap away because of this rust and make a new one. The other one is not so bad, but still it's not looking too flash either. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go and get some metal plate and get those cut away, drill all the holes. There's holes there that I have no idea why, maybe to let water out, I don't know. And on the other side, these holes, they must have some purpose. Yeah, 3 holes there. But also, we had the sheep shorn the other day, and I went for a drive in the middle paddock to go and open a gate, and found this. And I've just counted the rear right-hand spring, and I'm short one, so it's more a pain in the neck than anything else. But yeah, I'm going to have to jack the back end up, take the 4 bolts off down there, and take this spring out again and put that one back in. I'm glad it's not the top one, because then I'd have to bend these back over, so, and that wouldn't be too good. But still, pain in the neck. Pretty stupid, but yeah, didn't count the springs. Didn't notice there was a bit of a gap between the length of them either. So, but anyway, it happens. So, just a bit of a delay in the process. I didn't think I'd be seeing the back of the truck propped up again so soon, but anyway, the spring is out. It's just sitting on the ground there, but yeah, a lot easier with all the bolts not rusted together, and yeah, everything moved very freely, so yeah, didn't take very long at all. So now I've got to work out how I'm going to get this over to the press. So I'll probably get the tractor, I think, and haul it over in that. It's all back together now. It was nowhere near as painful as what I thought it was going to be. So now I've just got to pick it up in the tractor and take it back to the truck and reinstall it. So yeah, all good. I've started painting the structure that holds the winch on. I haven't even taken the winch out yet, so I've got a couple of pieces up there drying. These ones. I've decided I'm going to replace the backing plates on the fuel tank holders. This is one of them. There's 2 on each side. The back is very ordinary, to say the least. So I went down and got some 3mm mild steel sheet. And I've just cut one of the sections there. It's just leaning up against the chair there. And now I'll go and get these plates off. Not too sure why we've got all these holes in the back. I don't know. I can't remember when I took it off what they were there for, but I'll probably replicate the whole lot. But I'm not too sure why they're there. Okay, one done. It's pretty rusty. This actual back of it went around like that. Yeah, just cut through the welds and it's come off. Go on, get in. Yeah, so as you can see, it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty solid, well, not solid, but pretty chunky rust, that's for sure. Yeah, so I'll clean up in there before putting the new plate back on. I'll penetrine this well and truly, and yeah, I might even when it penetrine it, put the plate on, and then just run some penetrine in there after it's all welded up. So just tip some penetrine in there and run it backwards and forwards to stop that from happening again. So I might have said penetrine on the last video, but or the last section I just did, but yeah, I meant penetrol. So yeah, I'll soak it well and truly. I wish I knew what these holes were for. I can imagine the ones on the bottom would probably drain holes, but the ones up the side, I don't know. You don't need access to anything. The only thing you'd want access to is that bolt up there, and there wasn't a hole there to get to it. So yeah, now that I can, I'll clean all that up, take it out, and clean the strap, paint it. So okay, just finished some painting. They're the big retaining bolts for the winch, the two winch cross members over there, one of the airlines, so I'll give it a second coat this evening, and that should be those done. This is where we're at the moment, guys. It's been a while since I've put anything on to film, so this is the middle part of the chassis where the winch goes, all painted. It's been a long process, rubbing back, undercoat. This one's going to be a fairly big one when I do the transfer box, so I'll go outside and show you all the bits and pieces outside. You've got to try and remember where everything goes. It's pretty bad when you take so much off, and yeah, it gets a bit confusing after a while. One of these hydraulic brake hoses wasn't undercoated, so I hope I haven't stuffed it up by just painting the green paint over it. I don't know yet, so I'd like to say it wouldn't be a big deal to get it back out, but it would be. So I still haven't cut the backing plates for the fuel tank holders yet. They're still sitting in there. I am going to go with butt joining the plate rather than trying to get the 3mm plate around the curve. I just don't think I can do it. So and I think the butt join will be the way to go. So yeah, and I'll do that on both of them. So still haven't got the sandblasting unit fully operational yet, so I'm waiting on a couple of the angle brackets that go on either end of these winch supports. When that's all together, then they can go back in the truck. It'll be good to see those go back in. Still haven't started on the winch yet. That's still sitting probably where, or roughly where I last filmed it. I will film pulling that apart, trying to find out what's going on, why I can't get that lever back in. Not looking forward to that, but anyway, yeah, so that's where we're at. This is how I'm going to cut the plate for the backing of the fuel tank holder. So I've got the 3mm plate under here. This is obviously the old one, cut straight through there. I've lined up the front so it's square, so this cut will then be exactly like this one. I am going to include this hole in the original. I can't see what's on the camera because the sun's shining on it, so yeah, and then I have to drill out these two holes accurately because that's where the bolts, the retaining bolts for the holder go in. I'm not too sure what the other ones do though. There's one there, I think there may have been one there. I'll check the other mount. I'm not too sure what they are, whether they're drain holes or what, but I mean they're all up there, and other than the outside ones, I couldn't see a purpose for the others. So, but keeping it as as realistic as possible, how the original was. So we'll go with the holes. Yeah, I'll go and cut this now. Yeah, that's a bit of a mess, that one. So I'll now tack the other one, the new plate on, and then mark out the holes. Well, that's it all cleaned up. The bit added on over there. Welding's average, very average, not a welder. Now I've got to replicate the 3 bolt holes, 1, 2, 3, which are not used on this section, on this side. They must have just made them all the same. So this one on the other end has 2 bolts going through it, plus the 2 holes that aren't utilised in any way, shape or form. So I'll replicate them, but yeah, bit of a waste of time because, as I say, they're not used on the well, whatever it is, right side, left side, whichever side it is. Okay, the holes are drilled. Yeah, so now I'll give this a coating, a good coating of penetrol. I'm not too sure what happens because I've got to weld this back on. The sides are welded back on. I don't know what happens to the penetrol. So what I'm thinking is penetrol, undercoat paint, and get it welded on, because I'm going to have to rub back the areas where I'm going to weld anyway, and then just throw some penetrol back down into the slot when I'm finished. So that's what I'm thinking. It's penetrol, got to wait for that to dry, then paint it. These brake lines, they're all ready to go back on. So when that plate's right, I'll undercoat that, undercoat this air line at the same time. I don't think there's too much. Oh, that's right, the diff. I've got to redo the diff where that rusted. Actually, I should have done that today, but anyway, it's now on the list. And the PTO takeoff needs to be done. Still waiting on the sandblasting unit. It's been an absolute pain, really annoyed with that, because the casters I ordered, they said they were in stock in another branch just north of here, and they're not. Now they've got to go back to the manufacturer, so pretty annoying that is. And that's it. I might have to make this a 2-part, because this is just taking so long, a lot longer than what I thought. I've still got the winch to go, which is going to be a job in itself. I've got to pull that apart, see if I can get that, see why this actuating arm is not going back in. So I hope that'll be a fairly easy fix. I imagine it would be. I can't think of too much that would go wrong in there. And yeah, that's about it. So I'll see how much footage I've got, see what I can cut it down to. If it looks like it's going to be too long, then it'll be a 2-parter.